the horrifying Gulf War story of a US Marine. Today we're going to tell you about the Gulf War, also known as Operation Desert Storm, a conflict that took place from August 1990 to February of 1991 between Iraq and a coalition of 35 nations led by the United States. The goal was to drive Iraq's invading army out of Kuwait and prevent any further aggression in the region. Are you curious about the details of this war? Who were the key players? How did the US lead the coalition to victory? And how did the soldiers on the front lines handle the intense and chaotic conditions? Get ready for an unforgettable story from a US Marine who fought in the Gulf War. Let's hear this tale and gain some insight into the bravery and the struggles of those who served during this tumultuous time. So get comfortable and join us as we explore this epic story, which I'll be reading from his point of view. During the Gulf War, our mission was clear: to drive Iraq's invading army out of Kuwait and prevent further aggression in the region. I was part of a multinational coalition led by the United States, consisting of 35 nations. The key players in the conflict were diverse, but our united goal kept us focused and determined. As a US Marine, I was deployed to Afghanistan, supporting efforts to stabilize the region and prevent the resurgence of the Taliban. It was there, amidst the scorching heat and swirling dust, that I encountered a moment that would forever stay with me. On a mission to patrol a village near Kandahar, my team's objective was to provide security for aid workers, distributing essential supplies to the local population. However, something felt amiss as we traversed the narrow streets. The atmosphere was tense, and the villagers seemed to regard us with a mix of fear and anger. Guided by my instincts, I motioned for my team to approach a group of men huddled together in an alleyway. In a flurry of movement, they dispersed, but I managed to apprehend one young Afghan man. His face was etched with terror. Attempting to calm him, I noticed an object protruding from his bag, a detonator. Without hesitation, I lunged, tackling him to the ground just as the bomb exploded. The blast deafened me, tossing me through the air, my body battered by debris and dust, my senses momentarily distorted. Struggling to regain my footing, I realized my left leg was numb, and blood stained the ground beneath me. Amidst the chaos, the sound of gunfire pierced the ear. Drawing on my training, I crawled desperately toward cover, focusing on the safety of my team. Gunshots whizzed by, mingling with the agonized cries of my comrades. Despite the pain pulsating through my leg, I pressed on, determined to offer assistance. Reaching my teammates, I witnessed the intensity of the firefight as Taliban fighters relentlessly engaged us. Bullets zipped past, threatening lives with each passing second. Amidst the chaos, I noticed a fellow Marine struck in the chest, bleeding profusely with shallow breaths. Time was of the essence. Acting swiftly, I removed my belt, fashioning it into a makeshift tourniquet to stanch the bleeding in his chest. It was a risky move, but its success was crucial. The bleeding did subside and his breathing steadied. Having stabilized my comrade, I redirected my attention to the ongoing battle. Retrieving my weapon, I joined the firefight, determined to shield my team from harm. Despite the persistent agony in my leg, I persevered, drawing strength from our collective mission. Hours passed, each moment fraught with uncertainty, until finally the Taliban fighters began to retreat. Our team emerged victorious, but victory had come at a heavy cost. Several comrades had made the ultimate sacrifice, while others suffered injuries. Tragically, the aid workers were forced to abandon their critical mission. As we made our way back to the base, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen something in the eyes of the young Afghan man that I had tackled. It was a look of desperation, of hopelessness. In that moment, I realized that there were many more young men like him in Afghanistan, pushed to the brink of war and the poverty that accompanied it. Deeply affected, I made a promise to myself right then and there. I vowed to do everything within my power to ensure that the people of Afghanistan could live in peace, and that the sacrifices made by me and my comrades were not in vain. I knew it would be an arduous journey, but I was resolute in my determination to make a difference, no matter what it took. In the months that followed, I worked tirelessly to help rebuild the village that had come under attack. Collaborating with the locals, we established a school and a clinic, and provided aid and supplies to those in need. Together with my fellow Marines, we focused on enhancing security and stability in the region. thwarting further Taliban attacks. Despite the challenges that loomed before us, progress began to emerge. The village slowly started to recover, and trust began to develop among the people. Witnessing these positive changes brought me a profound sense of satisfaction, knowing that even the smallest efforts were making a tangible impact. However, our work was far from over. The Taliban persisted in launching attacks on our positions, escalating the intensity of the fighting. Constantly on edge, my team and I braced ourselves, never knowing when the next assault would strike. It was during one of these relentless attacks that I sustained a severe injury. A rocket-propelled grenade hit my position, propelling me into the air before crashing down with excruciating pain in my leg. Glancing down, I beheld the gruesome sight of bone protruding through my torn flesh. In that critical moment, a voice peered through the chaos, calling my name. It was one of my comrades arriving to aid me. With their assistance, I was airlifted to a nearby medical facility, where surgeons swiftly performed a life-saving operation to repair my leg. Months of rigorous rehabilitation followed, but eventually, I triumphed over my injuries. Nevertheless, the experience had irrevocably transformed me. Bearing witness to the devastating consequences of war, I knew I could never return to the person that I once was. John's story, and despite the challenges that he faced, he never lost sight of his mission. He remained committed to helping those in need and making a positive difference in the world. His experience in Afghanistan taught him that even in the darkest times, there is always hope, and that with determination and perseverance, anything is possible. We look forward to your comments about that sad conflict all those years ago. We hope you liked this video. If you did, press the like and share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will always get the very latest from us.